The wait is finally over, ladies and gentlemen. The first Democratic Party debate starts tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CNN. Now, if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter like myself, you already know that this is Bernie Sanders' moment, man. This is his opportunity to broadcast his message to millions upon millions of people who are going to be tuning into this debate. And they're going to be listening to this dude's common sense, progressive policy solutions. Now, of course, my boy Bernie, he ain't going to be up there alone. He's going to be sharing the stage with Hillary Clinton, with the former Secretary of State. She's the establishment-backed candidate. We all know that. Connections with Wall Street. However, she's recently unveiled policy positions that are further to the left than she's been in the past, completely flip-flopping on the TPP. At first, she wants to call the TPP the gold standard of trade agreements when she was in the Obama administration. Now she's coming out against it. At first, she was shying away from questions about the Keystone XL, not giving a clear position on it. Now she's coming out against it. She supports a $12 minimum wage, debt-free college. She's all of a sudden on a number of issues posing as a liberal. Then there's Martin O'Malley. He's been completely irrelevant in these national polls. I mean, this guy was supposed to be Bernie, right? Igniting the left and then contending for the nomination. But it's been a struggle for O'Malley. This debate, I think it's one of his last opportunities to get his message out there. You know, he's very progressive on a number of issues. With Bernie on Wall Street, the minimum wage, and even further to the left of Bernie when it comes to guns and immigration. However, his record on criminal justice, extremely iffy. Baltimore, when he was mayor of that city, it was notorious for criminal justice, systematic abuses, and corruption. Some of those lingering effects were actually exposed with the whole Freddie Gray fallout. Then there's Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee. Even more relevant than Martin O'Malley. Don't know why they're still here wasting space on that stage. No, just kidding, guys, just kidding. The more the merrier in this debate. But Lincoln Chafee, former senator and governor of Rhode Island, was the Republican, actually, until 2007. Then he turned into an independent. Now he's a Democrat. Jim Webb, he has a long history in the military, was a senator from Virginia from 2007 to 2013. Moderate on some issues, but mostly pretty liberal. So there you go, guys. A brief overview of all these candidates inside this debate. Now, here's what I expect from this Democratic Party debate. I expect Hillary Clinton to be very calm, calculated, careful. I don't think she'll try to attack any candidates on that stage because it just leaves the wrong impression with voters with her front-runner status, punching down. I think she'll try to tout her record of being strong on some issues such as childcare and education and her long, extensive experience in politics. She'll try to look presidential and experienced and policy strong, but also mix some emotion and some passion in there. I don't think she's going to differentiate herself from Bernie on economic and social issues, but when it comes to foreign policy, I think she'll mostly be on the defensive because of the Iraq war vote and some of those hawkish stances that she's had and has had in the past. Now, the whole Me Too game and, being calm and presidential looking and just sinking right down into the debate and just going with the flow, that would be a good card to play if my boy Bernie wasn't on stage to call her out on her BS. Bernie is going to do what he always does, man. Stick to the issues. He's going to point out some clear differences between himself and Hillary Clinton. But he's going to do it with some subtlety, some respect, This isn't a battle of personality, of course. This is a battle of ideas and policy. And Bernie's going to try his best to keep it that way. He's going to keep bringing it back to income inequality and some of his best policy proposals: tuition-free college, Medicare for all, a vast increase in infrastructure spending. And because he will also tout his consistency and some strength on those progressive policies, he will be able to come off as the real progressive, the real liberal, the real fighter, and make sure people aren't fooled by the Hillary Clinton's sudden push to the left. And then some of his more vulnerable issues, like guns and immigration, Bernie could simply explain the situation he was in. On guns, he comes from Vermont, a state with very little gun control. And by the way, it seems to be working for them with the lowest homicide rate in all the country. Anyway, some of those iffy votes, such as the Brady bill and protection of gun manufacturers, if he'd voted for gun control, he certainly would have gotten quite the kickback from the state he's supposed to be representing while he was in the House and while he was in the Senate. But yet, he still supports an assault weapons ban, closing the gun show loophole, and universal background checks. On immigration, really the only iffy vote he had was against comprehensive immigration reform back in '07, and that was simply his concern for workers. In 2013, a similar bill came up with worker protections, and he was in full support of it. So Bernie, I believe, is going to be able to adequately defend himself on guns and immigration, and he's really going to make his mark on his trademark economic issues. Martin O'Malley, look, if I were O'Malley at this point, now trailing by such large margins, and Bernie was stealing my progressive thunder, I would come out swinging against both Bernie and Hillary. But personal attacks, man, it's such a hard thing to do correctly. Because, you can't come off too disrespectful to the voters. And then if it's weak, you end up looking like a fool with at least a half-decent comeback from the person you're attacking. So I think the most sensible thing for O'Malley to do is really just stick to his issues, stick to his record, and use very strong and persuasive language while doing so. He has a very progressive record on gay marriage, gun control, immigration, minimum wage, and some fiscal issues. So point it out. You're young, at least for a politician. You're handsome. You're in good shape. I mean, if you spout your progressive record in a strong and poignant way, and you got the youth and the good looks going for you, I think you definitely have some success in this debate. But here's what I expect from Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee. I think they're probably going to try to go after Hillary Clinton and maybe even Bernie Sanders. Because, if you're insignificant and you're trying to become significant, the way you become significant is going after the person who's significant, right? And you do that by making Hillary Clinton look bad. That gets you points from Hillary haters, admittedly like myself. And who knows, maybe once you get attention, people start checking out your policy positions and they start finding you ideologically appealing. And there you go, you build a base. At this point in the campaign process, that's one of your last remaining options. But there you guys go, man. A preview for this Democratic Party debate. I personally can't wait. And y'all know who I support. Bernie Sanders all day, every day. I agree with him on 99% of all these issues, man. And because of his consistency and his everlasting beef with the establishment, I know that he is pure and he's sellout proof on the vast majority of these issues. However, each of these candidates, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, Jim Webb, Lincoln Chafee, they all have clear policy differences, and hopefully CNN, they wise up for once and ask some really good questions so the voters can get to the bottom of those differences and make an educated decision once these primaries come around. Thank y'all so much.